So I've been thinking about the cost of momentum, okay? And that's a difficult one to talk about because it can be contradictory in so many ways, right? First of all, and to start it off, I want to acknowledge that momentum is a powerful tool. It needs to be used and it needs to be there to grow your company. And so many companies strive for it. They strive for what many call the flywheel effect from Jim Collins' Good to Great. Okay, but there can be a disconnect, right? And the disconnect ends up to the point sometimes where the business takes the wheel. Okay, and the founder is no longer in control. All right, and so in that disconnect, what happens is it leads to something. It leads to frustration, anxiety, stress, and in the end, it can burn out the founder and the staff and everybody else that's involved. Okay, nobody wants this, obviously. Okay, but it happens, and I see it all the time. Okay, so the thing to keep in mind is it's not because the business has outgrown the founder. A lot of the times because decisions have become unintentional, because we don't feel we have the time in that fast momentum, that fast pace to make the decisions intentional. Okay, and the danger and the power at the same time is that momentum doesn't stop. Okay, and that's great. Like I said, it's a power at the same time. The systems are working, the revenue keeps growing, and the expectations continue. The expectations also continue to grow. And before you know it, the business is moving faster than the founder ever expected, and the founder can lose control. Okay, the business is now steering itself, and that sounds nice, but it's dangerous, and it's a dangerous ship to be on. And so let's think about it from the perspective of a Navy battleship heading into battle, right? With no captain at the helm, or at least a captain on a mission, would you want to be on that ship? Probably not. Okay. And so that's what I look at it as, all right? You need to still be on your mission, all right? Let's talk about it from a ship. A ship leaves the port, it's on a destination, just like your business. It has a mission, the worthy ideal, I prefer to think of it as. In some cases, and then it has direction, all right? And perhaps that direction changes, okay? I'm not silly. I know it changes. It changes intentionally and it changes quietly, but that direction, how you're getting to that point, might change. But if you're not careful, you can lose that direction and you can lose yourself with it. That is an inner peace that just sucks the life out of you, okay? I know why, because I've done it, and so many of us have, okay? And if that captain decides to start surfing, okay, now the whole thing is fucked, okay? Because guess what? That ship was never intended to surf, right? All those systems you built, they've been built a certain way so that the revenues can grow and all these pieces, but now you have less flexibility than you had in the beginning, okay? And that's just the way it is. So what happens? You're surfing now, you crash into the rocks. All right, obviously. These are all obvious points, but here's the thing. This is where where founders struggle, okay? They step away, they put leaders in place, and all of this with a solid goal and a well-intended plan, right? And if done right, it's magical and it's important and it can be done beautifully and things can work wonders, okay? But if nobody stops to slow that business down long enough, just long enough to consider the direction you're on and the ideal that you're still looking for any longer, okay, that's when it gets dangerous. Why? Because you're still in a place where that momentum starts to replace your judgment, okay? And that part is the part that nobody talks about, because externally everything looks good, all right? So why would I talk about all the internal struggles that are going on, right? But externally everything looks good, but the funny thing is something is still off, and the momentum keeps rewarding you, right? It keeps rewarding you with great revenues and growth and all the things that you think you need and you want, okay? And everything still makes sense. So the problem, though, is that burnout piece. These pieces that are, because you're no longer in control, you're not slowing the ship down just long enough to make these intentional decisions. Things are heading in the wrong direction. Your momentum is starting to shift. All right, so you always have to be asking, are we still on the right course? And who is steering the ship towards that direction? All right, and remember, hard decisions don't come with clean answers.